means that it's...
Can I click it? Yes, we can. Can I click it?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
What was that from?
Olin
Oh,
Rogers.
yeah. Okay.
It was SpongeBob and Patrick going. Remember?
I do.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back
Hi.
to the King of the Bean.
There's always a pause.
Now the musical.
Now the musical.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about
Bruno, no. Get it?
yeah, I got it. Go ahead.
Star Wars.
Yay!
Because today, the day of filming is May the 4th. And May the 4th be with you.
And with you.
And with me, because I don't know squat.
So I want to talk about...
You know a little squat.
I know squats.
You do 2 squats.
Alright, go ahead.
I want to talk about how we all got into Star Wars. So we'll let Ryan kick us off.
Should I say mine's much shorter?
Josh,
Starting with him.
Okay. All right. So Star Wars has been a big part of our lives for as long as I can remember.
For as long as we've had consciousness.
Yeah,
When
pretty
did
much.
the first Star Wars movie come out? 19-something?
70-something.
70?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was today's bundle. We played it in the car. It's the Star Wars theme.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't tell me what year. I did.
You told me it was 1970-something.
It's like 78 or 79 was
77.
the first one. Or 77 maybe.
Yeah.
Somewhere end of the 70s was when the first Star Wars movie came out. We are not that old. However, our parents saw those movies and they liked them.
Yeah.
And so when we were young, they showed us. There were some of the movies they actually did show us were the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, we watched sci-fi.
I feel
Yeah.
like your dad's super into sci-fi.
He loves
likes
Star Trek.
He likes Star
Star
Trek
Trek.
more than Star Wars.
Okay.
He's a
seen, like,
Trekkie.
He's seen
Okay.
like all the Star Treks.
He did
all
not
the time.
raise Trekkies.
No.
No.
No. Oddly enough, we never watched Star Trek with him.
Yeah.
He would just watch on his own. But we like Star Wars, the movies and stuff. But where and Ian can correct his side of things, but where I feel like we both got into Star Wars was playing video games.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
More so than the movies. The movies are cool.
Honestly, same.
Because when we started playing video games, I mean, we were already big Star Wars nerds at this point, but we were allowed any E-rated game or T only if it was Star Wars.
Yeah, so we played, and there was
Specifically Star Wars.
and because we had an original Xbox, like that was the first console we got, and there was a lot of really cool Star Wars games for Xbox.
And the game that came with it was like a tank battle game.
It was Star Wars
Yeah.
Clone Wars, and it was like a tank game where you gotta be in like the tanks from the Clone Wars, which was really cool, like different from the cartoon. So like that was really cool, and so that was our first experience playing Xbox. Was this cool Star Wars game that came with?
Yeah, we had that in Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah,
I love Crash Bandicoot.
yeah,
Not
and,
the episode.
and the Star Wars game also came with Tetris. It was like a Star Wars Tetris
It was on the same disc.
combo thing. So we played Tetris for the first time too.
Crazy.
But so that was a lot of the games we got growing up were either like Nintendo games or Star Wars.
Or Star Wars,
Yeah.
which is Nintendo now.
No.
No,
It's Nintendo now.
It's
It's
Disney.
Nintendo.
not. Anyway, there was a lot of really cool Star Wars games. There's that one. There is an Obi-Wan game where you got to play like Obi-Wan's story before Phantom Menace up through Phantom Menace, for those of you who know. Which was really cool. There was like a Starfighter game, like Naboo Starfighter or something like there's a lot of cool stuff. But the one that really stuck out to both of us, I feel like, was a game that we've talked about before, so this isn't any new information. It's called Knights of the Old
And we won't go
Republic.
too into depth.
Yeah, because we already talked about it a lot. But it's a game that, it's like a role-playing game, like a very narrative-driven game that takes place thousands of years in the Star Wars timeline before the movies take place.
Well, and I think one of my favorite parts is because, like, you know, we grew up with the prequels and everything. Like, we saw the originals, but then we saw the prequels.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, those are the new things coming out. So it was like Harry Potter. Like, oh, it was cool. Like, the new Star Wars is coming out, blah, 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 blah. But what really expanded Star Wars was, like, the Knights of the Old Republic and exploring the lore. Because, like, yeah, you know about the Jedi Council, but now they're telling you, like, how, like, what that used to look like so long before, and, like, kind of how the Empire, the Sith, and the Republic have coexisted for like thousands of years.
Yeah, because you get to see a different side of things, right? Because for those of you who know, like by the time of the movie timeline, you have the Republic and you have the Jedi Order, which is big, but there's only a few Sith, right? And so, but back in time in this timeline, there used to be as much Sith as there was Jedi, and so like everything felt bigger, felt grander, felt more robust.
And everything about Korriban was like super cool because you actually got to learn about the history of the Sith instead of just like, oh, there's just two evil dudes.
Yeah, and they're bad or whatever. But so and that was something that was really cool, and that's something like I talked about in the video game one. Like I feel like that game also really made me like narrative driven stuff more because it was just so interesting, and it wasn't just the narrative of it, but it did such a good job world building, and like it was the first thing that I felt like I experienced where I felt like I was in Star Wars and I got to feel Star Wars because you get to go to so many different planets and different types of planets, and you meet different types of alien species, and the dialogue playing it as an adult. There's a lot of very like real world stuff. Like there's a lot of like racism, and I remember this scene that didn't really hit me as a child, but as an adult. On the first planet you go to, you're walking down the street, and there's this dude just like screaming about like, oh, get the aliens out of here, blah 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 blah. You know, this used to be a clean place, like something like that. And like as a kid, I'm like, why is this guy screaming about aliens? Like whatever, who cares? But as an adult, I'm like, oh, that's a really big social commentary.
Space racism.
Yeah, and it's just a guy on the street, right? It's not even a guy that you have to talk to. It's not anybody that's important. It's just the world building of this. And as an
just
adult,
like this is a normal thing, and it's also here.
Yeah.
And as an adult playing it again, I'm like, wow, it's such a dense game, and it's such a dense world, and there's so many complex things, and I feel like on top of it being cool, and you get to play as a Jedi, and the story itself was really interesting, and the plot twist, like 3/4 of the way through, was really interesting. That I also didn't really hit me at first, and I was kind of like, what? Because it was so subtly done, but it just felt so deep, and it felt so real.
Story
and
that you can see yourself being in.
And we will get this guy to play those games,
yes.
And we will record it, and hopefully that'll be the start of our gaming channel.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
But also, it was just cool Star Wars, and there's like space and wars and all
and
this kind of cool lore and Jedi.
And also, lightsabers are just so cool.
Yeah, and you get to be a Jedi, and it was just like, it was so much fun. And so that's when I fell in love with Star Wars, was playing that game. And then the sequel is just as awesome for different reasons. I feel like it's a more refined game. The story isn't as good, but it's still like, it's like if you're at a 10 and then you go to like 9.8. You know what I mean? Like for Knights of Sith Lords. Still really good. Still really fun.
Game as much except for the creepy old lady.
Yeah, she was important. But yeah, I mean, and like that time period, I always found way more interesting than the time period of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and because of that game, so like a game we're all currently playing now is the Old Republic, the MMORPG.
Which I will say, if it wasn't something that was just like giving me so much information at such like a fast pace, I would probably enjoy the story a lot more. But I'm just like skipping through.
Well, I think that's it. It's because we're skipping through all those stories.
Yeah,
I think if you were to take time and like just play it the way it's intended to be played, I think it'd be more enjoyable.
Yes and no. I feel like with that, they kind of have the thought behind that you already kind of know the Star Wars universe a little bit. I feel like
us or you.
No, he means like the players who play this game already understand.
Yeah,
Star
understand
Wars.
the world a little bit.
So you know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have no background.
I have no idea. You keep saying like Coruscant or whatever the fuck the name is. I'm like, I don't know what that is. And then you said the place,
but I think that
the land of the Sith or whatever.
I think that if you were paying
first of all,
attention to
wrong.
the lore.
But you see my point.
No,
I don't understand anything.
I get that, but I think that if you would watch the cutscenes and read the lore, then you would learn it.
What if I just come in one day after like being really bored at work or whatever, I just go through the whole anthology of fucking Star Wars and I come back with you with all the facts?
I would be very impressed because that's a lot of information. Now there's 2 different timelines.
I'd just be like, no, you don't understand. You're in the wrong timeline. Like, this actually happened here. It's
because
like, no, like, you're wrong. It's like, I literally just learned
there's
about
2
this.
timelines because when Disney bought Star Wars, they said everything that existed aside from the movies doesn't exist anymore. So that's all anything that's not the movies and that hasn't been touched by Disney is now relegated in the Legends category.
which is an alternate.
Which honestly,
which is essentially an alternate universe, and then the canon universe
are the movies.
The official is the movies and then anything Disney's done since they bought it.
Which honestly, I think one of the best things that Disney could do for the Star Wars brand is bring Revan and the whole Knights of the Old Republic story into canon.
I don't even know who Revan is.
You would if you paid attention when we played.
We have met him in the game, but he is the main character.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Describe,
Spoiler alert!
Describe how he looks to me.
No.
Okay.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler!
He plays a big part in the first and second game.
God, spoiler alert.
I know. Ian's ruined the whole plot twist
Yeah.
for you.
I forgot there was a plot twist. Because when you said there was a big plot twist, I'm like, what is it?
What is it?
But that's
I didn't
because-
say it.
Yeah,
I didn't say it out loud.
yeah. But that's the thing too. Is like when we first played it and like that was revealed. I'm like, wait a minute, what's different? Like what happened?
It's okay, Josh will forget this by the time we
No,
play the
no.
game.
You underestimate my memory.
Well, I think this is something you don't care about, so you'll forget about it.
That's not completely true, but okay.
I would like for you to play Knights of the Old Republic.
Listen,
I think
I'm more open to playing games, and I say that as a person who wants him to desperately play a lot of the games that I grew up with.
No, yeah.
I'm like, I just want you to play and experience
We'll
it.
get to it.
Ian's not
He
as
won't.
open playing.
He's
games.
not. He's
But
not. Come to terms
this
with
is
that.
a side
Next time.
tangent. I would like to say I've been enjoying our game of the month thing we've been doing lately, and just playing a lot of games together. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been
Well,
nice
maybe
bonding
over
experience.
summer, one of the things we do is you can come over and we'll play different games. And
Well, I'll
Start
play,
I want you
I'll play
guys.
Star Wars. You guys play Bioshock.
I want him to play Dark Souls as well.
No.
Dark Souls 3 particularly.
I'm so bad at
No, it'll
that.
be fun.
It'll be funny.
Yeah, that too.
Funny.
Also, I want you to play Elden Ring.
Yeah, I'll
But that's already a game you're gonna like anyway.
Yeah,
Stay
I'm
tuned
so
for our
down.
gaming channel.
Yeah, I'm so.
I want you both to play Elden Ring because I freaking love that
So
game.
the first Star Wars game that I ever played was not this one that we're playing, the MMO or whatever. It's actually Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast.
I love that game. That's
my,
a great
My
game.
brother had it for the GameCube. You know, remember the GameCube disc being so tiny?
Yeah.
But I had that, and I remember playing that. I'm like, why am I just some guy with a gun? Why can't I get a lightsaber? And then later on, you get a lightsaber. Like,
You know, and that's the thing too. So that game was great.
yeah.
And that character, Kyle Katarn, was one of my favorite Star Wars characters that now is relegated to Legends. But he was such a cool character because he was this dude who was like a spy at first. Like he wasn't even a Jedi for a long time. And originally, I think he was one of the people who got the Death Star plans before New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember my lore correctly from Legends. And he was just this cool dude. And then, like, he kind of became a Jedi, and then he kind of fell to the dark side, but then he kind of came back. And he's always just kind of this different rogue kind of character who then, once Luke defeats the Empire and builds his own Jedi Academy, he, like, recruits Kyle Katarn, and Kyle becomes, like, a very prominent member of Luke's new Jedi Order. And he was always such a really interesting character to me who is a good guy, but also, you know, and he teaches, like, you know, you can use the dark side too. Like, it's not the abilities that make you good or bad, it's how you use them.
The action.
And, like, he was just such, like, he was like Qui-Gon Jinn to me. Like, just a very dynamic, gray character that I always found way more interesting.
Qui-Gon Jinn. I don't know who that is.
Qui-Gon Jinn is...
Did you say Quaggle Jin?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
I heard
I'm
it
just
say it. I
making
just
sure.
went over it. Qui-Gon Jinn appears in Episode 1, Phantom Menace. He is Obi-Wan's master, played by Liam Neeson.
Taken.
Great.
I don't know, that's what people always say.
That guy, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, got it.
Yeah, he's cool. Liam Neeson's cool. And Qui-Gon Jinn is cool. And Qui-Gon Jinn is another character, like, he's a good guy. But he's also like, I'm gonna kind of do what I want. You know, like,
I'll play by
the
your
Jedi Order says no, and I'm gonna, but like, I'm
I
gonna
think
say
it's
yes.
cool.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say yes. And he's a cool character. Spoiler, he dies, but, yeah, whatever.
But you know, that was a 20-year-old spoiler.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
true.
Like how Darth Vader is his father or whatever. Anakin's.
That's
Nope.
like
Luke.
Close.
Luke.
Darth Vader is Anakin.
Yeah.
that's like
I
a
know.
50-year-old spoiler.
50. It is 50.
Yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, I like Kyle Katarn, and Jedi Outcast is a really fun game.
So if we show this guy the Star Wars movies, do we go in order or in?
What I've been
What?
told is you have to go. Well, there's two ways that you can do it. That are
Can you guys explain to me before you go on to that whole
Yes.
thing? the side tangent. Can you explain to me what is the first movie that ever came out?
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Why?
A New Hope.
Because I don't think it was originally called Episode 4. I believe
It came out as A New Hope.
it was called Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I believe originally.
Yeah.
You can check this up. It was just called Star Wars.
Okay.
And then Lucas either then had the idea to do more, or he had that idea but didn't think. Because when it came out, right, like people look at it now and they're like, oh yeah, of course Star Wars was successful. It was a like way under budget bad sci-fi movie. Like
This
that's
is the original poster.
what does it say?
It just says Star Wars.
Yeah, because it was just called Star Wars.
And Carrie Fisher's got leg out.
Of course she does. Yeah.
And then Darth Vader. Is that Darth Vader in the back?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was just called Star. It was just like this kind of crappy sci-fi movie that like nobody thought would be good.
And then did amazing.
But then it did amazing because it was good and it was well written and it was interesting.
Okay.
And so then I don't know if then George Lucas created the trilogy or he had the idea but just wasn't sure it was going to be anything, so he just kind of was like, I'm just going to make a good movie.
Sure.
Because that is the thing, like you can have A New Hope and it does kind of end on a cliffhanger-ish. Like it's not resolved, but it could be a standalone movie.
Okay. I was just wondering why episode 4 is considered the first
So
one.
then, retroactively, as there was more, then it was named A New Hope, and then you get the trilogy. And then I think he decided to start with 4 because he was kind of starting at the end of his story.
Mm-hmm.
And once he finished that, he wanted to go back and tell the origin of this character.
But episode 4 is the one that... Is that the one that I keep referencing to? Where it's like all like, Luke, I am your father and all
No,
that
that's
shit?
5.
Okay, that's 5. Okay,
It's
sure.
original
JK.
trilogy still, though.
JK, okay. Alright.
Yeah, so the first one came out and it was just... Like,
Can I explain to the viewers my
go for it.
my little mindsets of where the movies are, and I don't know where... So I genuinely don't know any of the movies. I've seen bits and pieces of the movies.
Is anybody in your family like a Star Wars nerd?
No.
Like not even Art?
No, but we call him R2D2.
I know.
Because he's Arturito.
Yeah.
So he's R2D2.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the extent of that. As far as I'm aware.
Isn't that a Gabriel Iglesias joke or something?
Probably.
Hmm.
Could be. I believe it. But okay, so the extent to my knowledge, because I've seen bits and pieces of the movies, and I genuinely don't know where any of the movies come from. So coming into this guy who's like biggest Star Wars fan, I have to tell him all my knowledge of it and see him cringe over the fact that I don't know anything. And you do.
Coruscant is a homeworld of the Sith, Ian. Did you know that?
Exactly
Yeah,
my point.
and what did you
And-
say?
and-
Anakin
okay.
gets dropped off on the desert planet to his grandma and grandpa.
Yeah. We had the conversation.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, but exactly my point. He cringes over the stuff. Sometimes he gets mad at me because he thinks I'm fucking around with him. I genuinely don't know. But my knowledge is there's the bits and pieces is like the first movie to me is the one with the robot with 4 arms.
Okay.
And then he he kills people. I don't know why he has 4 lightsabers or whatever, but he's just like fighting.
Because he has 4 arms.
Well, obviously. And I don't know who he is or anything, but I remember him fighting someone. I think he was fighting some guy with a purple lightsaber, I think.
Does he fight Mace Windu?
I don't know. Anyways, that's my sense.
Not
Then
even, like, lately?
Not in
skip
movies.
it. You go to another scene where I see a bunch of kids. I don't know if this is a big spoiler alert that everyone knows it or not, but I see a bunch of kids and they're like playing around. It's like, yeah, and they're kind of scared because stuff's going on. And then Anakin comes in and he's like, the kids look at him. He's like, oh my god, you're here to save us. And you go, shink. And then cuts scene. And then the next scene that I remember...
wait, I need to pause you. I'm really upset at the shink sound, Josh. You know what sound a lightsaber
Yeah,
makes.
I'm upset it's not like a boom.
Yeah, it wasn't like... It was like, shink!
Like, this isn't a sword.
It's stabbing a kid with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
But it goes...
Okay. Weird thing to get mad over.
No.
But anyway.
Because you know about lightsabers.
But
it's not a lightsaber.
And then the next scene is just some guy in a hood who's like all pale, kind of looks wrinkly for whatever reason, and he's like, do it. And then that's it. And then
I love
and then
how-
you're supposed to be the chosen one.
I love how you only remember like 2 scenes from that whole movie.
Well, no, that's a good synopsis of episode 3.
No,
Like,
Is that all in one thing?
That's
That's
all
episode
okay.
3.
Okay.
Well,
See,
because
I wouldn't know that.
Because he also said like we don't know why he's wrinkly and stuff. They show you that in
They show
episode
you,
3.
yeah.
But I didn't watch that.
Because Dark Hooded Man fights Purple Lightsaber Man.
Yes.
I thought he fought Blue Saber guy.
No,
well,
Forearms fought Blue Saber.
Forearms fought Blue Saber? Then who?
Wrinkly Man.
General Grievous fought Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Grievous.
Who has the blue lightsaber.
Sure.
And Emperor Palpatine took on, like, the whole Jedi Order, and one of them was
Right,
Mace
took
Windu.
on, like, 4 of them, and 3 of them didn't count.
That is the one thing. I don't know if this is, like, an official thing or whatever, but I love how all the good guys, for the most part, are color coordinated.
No, that was intentional by George Lucas.
In my head, I'm like, I know who that is based on the
That's
lightsaber.
exactly why he did it. Good guys have blue or green lightsabers. I think originally it was only blue, but then when they were filming, this is film lore, when they were filming Return of the Jedi, which is the 3rd movie in the original trilogy, or episode 6,
okay,
it starts off in the desert. And the blue lightsaber...
Yeah, where he's with his grandma and grandpa, right?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
This is Slave Leia.
Gold chains, bikini.
Got it.
Yeah, but when he was doing the special effects for it, the blue lightsaber that Luke was supposed to have didn't look good and was hard to see against the bright background of the desert.
Sure.
So then they gave him a green lightsaber instead. So then when you go back in time and you have more Jedi, George was like, okay, well, if you're a good guy, you have blue or green now because, that's fine. And if you're a bad guy, you have red.
Where did yellow come from?
That's like legend stuff. That wasn't George.
Oh, okay.
That was like other people. But then to add to this, when Samuel L. Jackson was playing Mace Windu, he's like, "Hey, I want a purple lightsaber," and George Lucas was like, "Well, traditionally Jedi have blue or green. That's the good guys," and Samuel L. Jackson was like, "Yeah, but I want purple," and he's like, "All right, you can have purple," and so that's why he has purple.
Love that for him.
But that's why.
But I love that because you got your good and bad guys, whatever. But to me, there's like specific characters that have specific colored lightsabers.
Yeah.
And I only know them by their lightsabers, and that's it. And then all the bad guys, they all look very different from each other. One's a robot, one's red, one's black. Suited.
Oh yeah.
Suited.
Keep going.
I said suited.
Keep going.
Because the only...
One's
well,
in a
no,
hood.
there's 2 famous black Star Wars characters.
Yeah, the guy with the purple lightsaber.
And?
Darth Vader.
No.
I don't know who else is black.
Who's the other one?
Who is the other one?
Who is the other one?
Lando.
Oh, Lando Calrissian, yeah.
Who?
He's like a gambler, smuggler guy.
Yeah, he's in the originals.
He sells out his friends to Darth Vader, and then Darth Vader's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna pay you as much as I wanted to," and he's like, "Oh, why shouldn't I have sold out my friends then?" And he gets all mad, and then he helps him save the friends later.
Did you see the Han Solo movie? It was terrible.
Absolute garbage.
No.
Good.
Oh well, Donald Glover played young
And
Lando.
Donald Glover was the best part of that movie, and I wish they did more with
I
him
liked
as
Kira
Lando.
too.
She was cool
Like
too.
I wanted to go more into her stuff than the Solo.
Who's that one girl? She's orange. She looks like she has like those.
The Twi'lek.
Oh, Ahsoka.
Sure, I'll take it.
She's
Ahsoka Tano.
Twi'lek.
She was like the
Tom
apprentice of Anakin. I want to say.
That other race. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
She was like the apprentice of Anakin.
She was.
Yeah.
Her story is all in the Clone Wars, which is the first thing Disney did.
Yeah. And now she has her own TV show that I didn't watch. We tried watching one episode and we're like, no.
It's terrible. She looked badass.
I think she did
She
too, and I
looks
think
cool.
Rosario Dawson does a great job.
I don't think it's
playing
her fault.
I don't. It's not.
fair.
I think
As with everything else with Disney, it's the freaking writing is just absolutely atrocious.
it just seems like they don't know what they want to do, and they're like, how can we milk characters we already have?
Yeah. Like
Whereas I think if you take the MCU approach where you start from the beginning, it would be so much cooler. Which is why I think if you have like a Knights of the Old Republic series or movies or stuff like that, that would get so many people more invested and explore so much that's not connected to like their one 100-year
that's
piece
the
of
thing
stuff.
too, is everything happens in like the same 50 years. Like all the new shows, everything that they have done happens in the same timeline, and it's like we have thousands of years of history in this galaxy. Let's explore more of that. I'm tired of seeing everything in the same lifespan.
Well, the thing is, they don't even have to write a new script or anything. Take the Knights of the Old Republic, make it a movie,
Well, but that's the problem, though, right? Is Disney wanted to do their own thing. That's why they took the Legends and they're like, this is its own thing now. We want to do our thing, which is fine. Like, I get that. I was a bit upset because even, like, after Return of the Jedi, there's a lot of really cool stuff that happens in Legend canon. Like, these aliens from outside the galaxy come in to conquer the galaxy, and they're, like, resistant to the Force. So, like, good guys and bad guys have to team up and try and figure out how to kill. And, like, there's really cool stuff going on. Chewie gets crushed by a moon trying to save Han's son. Like, there's some cool stuff going on. But then Disney's like, oh, we're not going to do any of that. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I get it. You want to do your own thing. Understood. But then do something with it. They haven't done anything with it. Like, the sequel movies are the exact same movies as the original trilogy, except worse. And then all their shows are just poorly written. And it's all happening in the same timeline, in the same 50-year span. Like, you have so much to play with. Play with it. Have fun. Do something interesting. Do something new. Introduce new things. And now they're trying to do this High Republic stuff, which, like, I don't even know if that's going to be good. It's like 100 or 200 years before the movies.
Before episode 1.
Before episode 1. So it's a little farther back in time. I know there's been a lot of comics that they've been releasing that have been High Republic comics. So it's a little farther back in time. But like, and I think I think the Acolyte, I think that show that's coming out that I've been hearing about, I think that takes place in the High Republic. Which is like, okay, that's different, so maybe it'll be okay, but just with the garbage writing they've been doing, it's green, it's good. Like, I just have no faith in it anymore. You know, and it's sad, because I love Star Wars, and I don't think it's hard to do cool stuff with Star Wars. No. Like, I think it can be.
It's
sci-fi. And there's so much cool stuff that you can use.
Well, there's so many cool books, too, that they could use from. Like, I used to read Star Wars books all the time.
Some of the only books I like to read in the elementary school library were the Star Wars books in the back corner for, like, 5th and 6th grade.
They were so cool. Now that you mention it, I think Johnny might have been a Star Wars fan. Because I remember him having a book. I remember seeing the book of, like, little Anakin to big Anakin.
I had that book, yeah, and it was, like, Anakin's journey between, like, Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I think it's him going through the trials and going up.
Literally, I only remember that because it reminded me of, like, the animal form thing.
Yeah. But it was so cool. I read that book a lot. It was a great book, and I had a book on, like, bounty hunters. That was really cool to have, like, all these different bounty hunters and their stories and stuff, and, like, I had some books from Obi-Wan, like, before the movies when he was a Padawan. Like, there's some really cool stories out there that's, like... and those aren't written by George Lucas, right? They're just written by people, right? So, Knights of the Old Republic was BioWare. They made that. And it's like, you can do cool stuff with Star Wars if you understand Star Wars. Disney doesn't understand Star Wars.
They understand how to milk stuff.
Yeah, like Baby Yoda. The Baby
exactly.
Yoda show.
Which is so... Because Mandalorian was, like, the one thing that was good. Like, the first season was great. The second season was still pretty good, but then it just becomes the Baby Yoda show. And that's not interesting. No. That's not fun. That's boring.
It's boring. However, he is adorable.
Yeah, but that's true regardless.
Yeah. He could be in any situation.
Yeah, I mean, we all love R2-D2, but it never became like the R2-D2 show where he's just like, like the whole time.
Yeah, well, that's annoying.
Well,
yes.
Grogu's quieter, but he's doing he's taking up the show.
Yeah, but Lizzo is picking him up.
I never even finished that season.
And Jack Black was also there.
Yes.
I know about it. Never finished that season. I just don't want to waste my time watching stuff that I'm not enjoying.
That's fair.
And it's sad that Star Wars is at that point now.
Yeah, now everything could be good forever. Until they make something.
But it could be better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Who, me or us?
Both of you.
Got it.
I want Josh to go first.
Me or us?
Yeah, me or us.
What is your favorite movie?
Episode 3, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The only one you've seen?
The only one I can remember bits.
Honestly, people crap on the prequels. And I think, less so now because the sequels are just so tremendously worse that it made the prequels look better.
Nobody ever thought a movie would make people love the prequels.
But to be fair, like, I never hated the prequels, and maybe it's because I grew up with them. But, like, even then, like, I think there are parts of the prequels that are not great, and not all decisions were well made.
It might not be written the best,
but it's not the worst.
But, like, my favorite part of, like, the prequels is, like, all the visuals and everything, because, like, 4, 5, 6 are very dull visually.
Yeah.
But, like,
and
then
that's
you get
to do with technology.
Yeah. But then you get to a place like Naboo, like the Naboo starfighters in the castle.
Cool design.
And it's all just so well thought out. And
the fight with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Darth Maul is still one of the coolest lightsaber fights.
It's one of the best choreographed fights ever.
So great. And it was long too, which was awesome. Like it's like a 10-15 minute fight. And it's so cool. Such a great climax. The movie.
One day I will watch it.
Yeah.
We'll sit down. We'll do it.
But my favorite...
Do they still hold up?
Define hold up.
So... How would I describe hold up? Like, if I were to watch it, or if you guys were to watch it, would you be like, wow, this is exactly how I remembered it? Or like, oh, this is... You can see all the faults.
That implies I couldn't see the faults before, though.
Sure.
I think maybe we know, like... Because, I mean, it'd be looking at, like, Die Hard and stuff, where we look at that now and we're like, oh, like, that's kind of...
Of its time.
Of its time type of writing and stuff like that. And I think that's always going to happen. I think probably the prequels hold up a little bit more, just because even when watching the originals, like, yeah, it's still cool and stuff, but, like, it feels old.
It feels like it's dragging.
I am not a puppet person. So
I'm a puppet person.
You'd like the originals then.
Yeah.
You got puppets. I watched Phantom Menace a couple years ago, which is episode 1, the first of the prequel trilogy.
Sure.
And it was what I remembered it. You know, there were parts that I liked. The fight at the end is awesome, and there's a lot that wasn't the best. Jar Jar never really cared about. I don't hate Jar Jar Binks as much as everyone else does.
Doesn't he have like a whole backstory where he was unintentionally the reason why the Death Star got destroyed?
No, there's a whole theory that he's a Sith Lord secretly, which I think is hilarious.
Sure.
I kind of wish... I think
Jar Jar.
that...
The Death Star wasn't a thing while Jar Jar was a character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, honestly, to be fair, if that was the direction the sequel trilogies went and Jar Jar was the true Sith Lord behind everything, that would have been preferable to Palpatine somehow being alive still.
Yeah, but I feel like that would have made the movie a complete joke.
Absolutely. They are a complete joke, except in this case, they would know what they were doing, as opposed to them trying to do something.
When you own up to it, it becomes great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Philosophy.
Next question.
Wait, I didn't even answer.
Yeah.
I thought you said me too.
No, I said.
No, I said. I think. Okay, I feel like the correct answer is Empire Strikes Back.
But is that your favorite?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
I do like Empire. Of the original trilogy, I think Empire is the best one.
Okay.
But I like Attack of the Clones.
The series?
No, so the Clone Wars is a series.
Oh, okay.
Episode 2 is called Attack of the Clones. But I only like half of Attack of the Clones.
The
all the parts with Obi-Wan are awesome.
Everything,
all the parts with Anakin, horrible.
Just like Sword Art Online. All the scenes with Kirito, great. All the scenes without him, terrible.
It's true.
Anyways.
Yeah. So if I could just watch all the Obi-Wan stuff of Attack of the Clones.
I like Attack of the Clones, but
I just want to let you be aware.
Yeah.
What time is it? Are we running out? Oh, we're doing okay. So I'd say the Obi-Wan half of Attack of the Clones plus Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, and what was yours?
Yeah, what is yours?
I mean, I do like all the prequels, but I will round it out and I'll say episode 1.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, I really like...
So the first one of the prequels.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm
You're catching on. No, you're
I'm still trying to keep up with all that shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because I really like Qui-Gon, I like Obi-Wan. Padme was really cool because she was, like, still in secret on, like...
Which that confused me too, when she was like, oh, I'm just a handmaiden, I'm just here to help, and then all of a sudden she's like, I'm the queen of Naboo, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, as a kid I was confused, but...
It was very confusing.
But she was really just in disguise for her own protection, and she had like a dummy queen.
So I looked at Qui-Gon, and I see him now, and I know who he is. However, I saw Homeworld, and I know it says Coruscant. My mind went full dyslexia and it said croissant.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, he's from World Croissant. I guess.
He's French.
He is.
Yeah.
He's Irish, technically, I guess.
Wow, he's 6'4". He's tall.
Yeah. Big man. That's fair.
But yeah, and I like the aesthetic of Naboo, like
Naboo's
because the surface world is really cool, like the castle and the architecture and all that stuff. But also just everything they did underwater was really cool too.
It was cool. There's always a bigger fish, Josh.
It's always bigger fish.
It's always bigger fish. That's what I learned.
Yeah.
Right now.
Also, Anakin wasn't as annoying yet.
Was Anakin
And
still
the
a
pod
kid?
racing was cool.
It was pretty cool.
Was
It
Anakin a kid at that point?
He
a
was
kid.
like 10.
10?
Yeah.
Was that when he was... No, that's Luke.
What?
I was to say, was that the point where he was shooting random critters in the forest? But I'm pretty sure that's Luke. Or in the
He was never in a forest. 'Cause
Neither
he
of
was
them
in the
were ever
desert.
in the forest. They both came from Tatooine.
Which is
Well, technically,
Well,
Luke was
Luke was
born
an
on an
Endor.
asteroid.
Yeah, but Luke was on Endor.
Yeah, but he
forest.
wasn't shooting.
Yeah, not as a kid.
No.
But, okay, what's your favorite TV show?
Clone Wars. Or whatever the clone...
Can I
No, that's
choose?
right.
Can I choose? That is, yeah. Can I choose the mini series done by the Clone Wars mini series that was done by the guy who did Samurai Jack?
There was one that was made by Samurai Jack?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Samurai Jack himself.
It was awesome, dude.
I
That's my Clone Wars. Hashtag that's my Clone Wars.
What's it called?
It's called the Clone Wars, but it's because it was done and then either George Lucas or Disney decided they wanted to do their own version, and so they had to.
That's not the version we watched during COVID, right?
No, we watched the CGI.
Not the 2008 one?
No, I think it's 2003 or something like that. You'll
That was in
recognize
2003. That's before even the Attack of the Clones came
No,
out.
because that's 2002.
That one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, got it.
Wait, show me.
This one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I like that one because it was really cool.
They look ridiculous.
Well, it's Samurai Jack art style.
Yeah. Which, I don't know if it translates super well. Who is this lady who looks like she would choke me?
Saj Ventress, probably.
Is that Sash Ventress?
Yes.
Okay.
She would also, 100%. But I
Based on
like...
the description, you're this
No,
character?
that was the same thing as singing, but also she's the main villain of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Her
there's,
and Dooku.
there's 2 trailer volumes of it.
Yeah, we had the 2-disc one that we got from Costco, actually.
Yeah, volume 2 shows like Anakin being like on
We
either
used to
side.
get all our games from and stuff from Costco.
Yeah.
Well,
So
shout out
I
to
really
Costco.
like that one. If that's not an option, then probably the first season of Mandalorian I really liked.
Fair.
I did like the Obi-Wan TV show.
I like parts of it.
I fell asleep.
It's true.
I like parts of it. I think it could have been better, but I also know it could have been way worse. So,
Is that your favorite though?
yeah, what would you say your favorite TV show is?
Is it Clone Wars? Because that's the only one I know of. And I watched. I remember really
I mean,
liking it.
technically you watched Obi-Wan. And we watched The Mandalorian.
That I remember.
Fair.
I prefaced it.
I guess I'll go with Obi-Wan. I don't really remember most of the other stuff.
Whatever the one where, again, that woman with like the pigtails looking things.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
That is Clone
Yeah.
Wars.
Was that Clone Wars? Okay, Clone Wars.
Okay. Favorite game?
Star Wars 2 Jedi Knight
Order.
Outcasts.
Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast.
There you go. That's
What
what I
about
said.
you?
That's what I said.
That's the Old Republic.
Same.
But I
That's
do
the one
wanna
that you
talk-
guys want me to put, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the second one,
That's on
Knights of the
Steam.
Old Republic 2,
Yeah.
Sith Lords.
No, that's the one that I got on
Oh yeah,
Prime
you got it on
for free.
Prime or Epic?
One of those two.
Ooh, I wonder if Epic has free Star Wars games.
I
this
also
weekend.
do want to talk about another Star Wars game, though, that we haven't talked about.
Lego
That
Star
was-
Wars.
Yes, but also we talked about that. But no, there was one.
The new Lego Star Wars is terrible.
So sad. So Disney-fied. Am I right?
I tried getting him to play it because I was like, oh, we'll finally do a Star Wars thing. It was so bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you spent the money and we probably should have tried to refund. But
Yeah,
because I don't think we played 2 hours.
I got it on my Switch, and I don't know if you could refund it.
We got it on Steam.
I was very
Can you-
disappointed.
No.
But anyway,
The time is over.
the one that I want to mention is another one from Xbox. It's called Republic Commando.
Mm.
Is that
And
the
you-
one where you fight other
It's
people?
like Halo.
No, it's kind of Halo inspired. You play as a clone trooper commando.
Sure.
3-8 I think was his number, and it's a first person shooter.
Oh, okay. Never.
And you play as this commando guy, and you go through. You start off on Geonosis right after the Battle of Geonosis, which in Attack of the Clones, red desert planet, bug things. When you see it, you'll know it. But you go on this whole story, and it's really cool. And so you play as this commando guy, and you have like this gun that you can as a rifle, or you could switch it into a sniper rifle, or you could switch it into like a grenade launcher. And so like, and you're fighting battle droids, and you're going through, and you like meet other members of your team, and you have like a squad. And so there's 4 guys total. You're the boss, or I think 3-8 was his number. And then there's 0-7. His name is Sev, and he's like the sniper guy.
Sure.
And then there's 4-0, 4-2, something like that. He was Fixer. He was the tech guy.
Were these all color coordinated ones? Like one
They
was
were
blue,
actually,
one was
like-
green, one was
Yeah,
red.
yeah,
One
exactly.
was yellow and one was blue.
Yeah.
Well, Boss I think is orange, and then Sev is red.
Okay.
Fixer is green, and Scorch, who is like the demolition expert, was yellow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so
Is
you
that
go,
blue?
huh?
No blue.
No, not in this one. I don't
Well, I
think.
thought the blue one was the grenade launcher guy.
No, he was red.
Okay.
Yellow was the explosive guy.
I'm giving a
But
lot.
so
of
you
info,
go
but-
through, and you can like you have to like do all these missions, and it is kind of very more Halo-esque. And it was just like so cool. And like you start off on Geonosis, and you do a few different maps, and then you go to this ghost ship. Like you're literally going through space, and they're like, "Oh, there's this abandoned ship," and it's like super creepy, and it's really cool. And there's like, you fight Trandoshans, which are lizard people. You've seen it. You know the first companion you get, that's a Trandoshan.
Oh, okay, got it.
And then they kind of come out of the ceiling and stuff like that. It's like really creepy. But it was also cool because you find there's like the secret passage. I remember this game so well because I played it so many times. Because there's only like 9 levels, which really sucked.
It was to him what Super Mario Galaxy was to me.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I love that game. It was so fun. And it was so different. Again, it was like a grittier, raw feeling of Star Wars.
I heard it too.
And it was
I heard
honestly
it too.
scary because like it was not just the ghost ship, but even like on like one of the first levels, you walk through this factory of super battle droids, which are like the big, like dark silver guys who are really strong, and it's destroyed. But there's all these racks of super battle droids, and you're walking through, and you're like, "Yo, what if they activate?" And so you're walking through, and you're all scared, and then behind you, you hear this like. And like one of them activated, and he just starts just like shooting. You're like, holy crap! And like it's such a cool game.
I do also want to shout out Battlefront.
Battlefront,
like the OG
the
Battlefront,
original Battlefront.
and then even the second one behind it because
Yeah.
that one was cool because you got to play as Jedi.
You
Because
did.
in the first one, Jedi were like these unkillable things.
They were
Like we would go to Bespin,
yeah.
which was the Cloud City, so a bunch of
Oh, I
like
know,
platforms
that's
in the sky, and we would potentially play just to get Jedi to come, and then we would use our rocket launchers and stuff
Or
to
the
try
mines.
to
Or the mines.
Yeah, or the mines to try to blow him off of the edge of the map.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Battlefront 2. Yeah.
To blow him off the edge of the map because that was the only way you could really kill them.
Yeah.
And it was so satisfying to like kill the Jedi.
Because they were legitimately unkillable in the first one. Like, no matter how much you shot them, they would just deflect them back at you and then, like, kill you. And so we would always try to find ways. Another way you could kill them is there's a few maps where you can ride speeder bikes. And if you went fast
if
enough,
you ran them over.
you could run them over. But those were the only ways we found in the hours and hours we played that game that you could kill the Jedi.
That's
Because
so
each
good.
team would have a Jedi. So, like, the Republic, I think it was Mace Windu. And then the
No, it
Separatists-
changed because you could get like.
Not in the first one. In the second one, there was a bunch of them. But in the first one, it would be one
No,
per...
because I think Obi-Wan was there.
I don't think so. I thought it was Mace
I was
Windu.
picturing him on Bespin.
No, I thought it was Mace Windu. And then, because the Separatists, it was Dooku. The Rebels was Luke. And then the Empire was Vader. But
If you
yeah.
know, you know.
But yeah, the original Battlefront we put so much, and the second one too was cool, and like it was cool because like you can like upgrade your weapons, and there was like different classes to play. It was fun. We spent a lot of time playing those games.
Nice.
They were really cool.
Okay, it was Mace Windu, Luke, Dooku, and Vader.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
and
many
then you,
good Star Wars games.
you learned about all the different types of units that were there for each side too. Although you never got to play as a super battle droid or droideka, right?
There was Droidekas in the original.
That we
one.
got to play.
Yeah,
Oh.
in both the originals
yeah,
you
yeah.
could play. Droidekas are the rolly guys with the shields that go. Toot, toot,
Yeah,
toot,
they
toot,
they
toot,
roll
toot.
and then when they deploy, they come up and then put a shield and then they have guns like this. Like
Yeah,
And
it's
then
cool.
there's the skinny yellow.
We
robot
should
guys
play
from-
Battlefront. I think that would be
we
fun.
can. But yeah, you would learn about that, and then you could even get in ships and stuff too, which was really cool.
And the
you
second one had like actual space combat too, which was alright. That was pretty fun.
It's cool for its time.
It was cool.
I think I played it a little bit. Don't remember much.
Yeah. The newer Battlefronts, I played a little too. They were okay. I don't like PvP stuff, so like they weren't my favorite cup of tea. But I would play for a bit with a friend sometimes.
Okay, so the age-old question: what color lightsaber would you have, Josh?
I would have like an orangey one with an outline with like a blackness in the middle.
Black center.
That's cool.
I think that'd look cool.
What I would always thought would be really cool, and I told you guys at lunch, so I did that. But I think it'd be cool to have like the lightsaber hilt is like made of like a black metal, maybe some like dark gray or something in there, and then a silver lightsaber blade. So like kind of reverse what it normally is. Because normally lightsaber hilts are like really silvery with some black. But I think it'd be cool if it was like black and then the blade is silver. I think that'd be awesome.
I want a gold hilt. I want to say green, but green's so basic in the Star Wars universe.
It is.
Yeah.
But like ideally, I would have green, but maybe it'd be like a darker green.
Why wouldn't you want your hilt to be like a nice like metallic green?
Because I want it to be gold and shiny.
Why don't you have a green hilt and a gold blade?
No.
Gold hilt, green blade.
Yeah.
That's a good combo. Maybe I'll have the
and I
black
feel
lined
like-
with gold. That'd be kind of cool.
And I feel like, because especially like, you know, if you drop your lightsaber, if it's green and you're in a forest,
Yeah, you're not.
No one's around to see it.
like, do I just...
Does it actually fall?
Do I just do this everywhere to be like, where are you, lady?
No, you already know where it is with the Force, obviously.
Okay.
You're going off against someone who knows nothing.
I know, that's why I accepted it.
I do
Gold
really,
would be hard to lose.
I do really like yellow lightsabers though.
Yeah, they're cool.
I think yellow is a cool lightsaber color.
Well, thank you for watching our Star Wars podcast. I hope you enjoyed
Listening to
it.
us rant on for a long time.
If you
especially
like
me.
Star Wars, let us know. What's your favorite movie, video game, or TV show? Do you like what Disney's doing? Leave us a comment down below.
And also, are there any people who are like me who know little to nothing about
There's
Star
a
Wars?
lot like you. Yesterday at work, me and another counselor were talking on and on about Star Wars for an hour, and one of the assistant principals came down and was just like, "Oh my god," and turned around and walked away. And we were just like, "Hey, what do you think about what Disney has done with Star Wars?" And she's like, "I have zero answer to any of your questions." She's like, "I could not care less."
She older than us?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's cool though.
But, we'll see you next time, and may the Force be with you.